With that said, we have the North Pacific Ocean Finals. We have OBCD. I've not heard of this. Is this a rebranded name or something?
OBCD is their team name. Is that what?
Yeah, it's OCB. It's OBCD is the name, and it's versus Circus. I know Circus. We saw them last finals, but
Okay.
OBCD is a new one for me. Is this a renamed, or is this just something else?
You know as much as I know, actually. I've got no idea what's going on, but I'm here to have a good time, and let's pop off. Let's get some good games in. Obviously, first game we got twins. This is interesting.
I'm kind of happy to see it because the killer pool has, we got Twins, Knights, Skull Merchant, Singularity, and it's an ARP map. Obviously, known for its 3-gen potential. But honestly, Twins, I see this often. When we're doing a regular code of games in regular season, Twins on this map happens very frequently.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with too much of, how the comp scene rolls with this. Oh, we got someone hopping in a locker straight away. But I'm not super familiar with the whole comp scene and map-wise, but this map is genuinely just infamous for holding down a solid 3 to 4 gen, depending on how the, gen spawn. Sometimes you'll even be unlucky enough to have no gen spawn in the middle section of this map, and they typically will either split to each end. So it's quite an unfortunate split, but today it seems they do have one in the middle and an even split on each side, which is pretty nice here. But depending on how this killer holds their ground and holds their gens, we might have an interesting endgame.
Potentially, yes. And it is a bit in the center, the gen there. Looks like it's leaning towards the main building side of the map. Yeah. And I think that's why the Twins is kind of setting up shop over here. And also worth noting, we've about ended Corrupt. We've seen 2 survivors jumping out of a locker so far, and this killer really hasn't committed to anything yet. And I don't know if we're going to see them commit anytime soon.
I would think not. And these gens over here are typically a lot closer than the gens on the other side. If you see the one behind main, it's very, very, very central to the one off to the left. And then you've got one that's pretty close. Whereas one on the other side, you can see there's quite some distance between them. So I think there's more of a chance I would rather hold this 3 on this side rather than push over to the other side and be a bit more and have to deal with shack and things alike. Whereas you've got main building here, which is just a single vault window. But regardless, it looks like we're going to have a bit. I think this is going to be a bit of a grindy game. I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be very, very patient with a lot of waiting and a lot of taking your time, unless our survivors tend to get a bit antsy and try to rush some things. But I feel like Killer is just going to settle in for the long haul here and try to see what they can do and hold down.
I would tend to agree. It is worth noting they are using Victor to, lock stars and lockers. And I think if a survivor ends up ever being close enough to this side of the map, the Twins might go for the pick, but I think they're just, like you said, they're kind of just biding their time, waiting for survivors to make a move here. Obviously, the 3 gens on this side of the map are easy pickings that will be taken care of relatively quickly, and we see survivors finally spreading out. There's the first gen following, and it looks like Renato is going to be the first chase here with Victor, but they even put down a boon. What boon do you think they took here?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Maybe an exponentially.
I was thinking exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Circle of Healing would be nice. Actually, to open up this door here, I thought they would have done this at the start. But regardless, doors open. Now that all they have to do is deal with a single vault window. But yeah, I would think that it would be exponential. Like if both teams are aware of the killer pool, it would kind of make sense that you're going to need some self-sufficiency here, which is what exponential is going to give. But a question, actually, you'll be able to answer this for me. Am I going to see any of the cage gameplay or any perks today or nothing?
I want to say that everything in the game is viable and on the list. Singularity, latest DLC, and of course Nicolas Cage. I think these are viable, unless I am, going to be told wrong by a ref at some point.
Getting word now that we are having Nick Cage banned.
Oh really? Okay, never mind. I was lied to. I'm kind of sad. I wanted to see some
I want to see some Cage.
True. Now I'm sad. And I will say, since obviously we talked about it before, this is going to be the last official DBDCC, but we will be continuing a version of this on our channel just because we love to see the community come together from so many different regions. Like hundreds and hundreds of people play in these, and we love that. So obviously the next one we have coming up will have Nicolas Cage. We will be including that.
That's dope. I'll be able to see some Cage gameplay. I want to see some plot twist value come in.
Plot twist is becoming scary. I am not gonna lie. That perk is doing some rounds.
It's a very, very, very great thing they've done with DBD. But regardless, we got a good game here. So what have we got? We got I think it's Renato who jumped in a locker.
Yep. Renato jumped in a locker. Victor's holding him there hostage for a little bit, and these gens are still untouched. Oh, I think it's the first time I've seen a survivor on the side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super surprised, but I'm also surprised in the fact that we haven't got, you know, some sort of pressure being put up this end to try and maybe break this split. But with the killer is, you know, as accessible to the map as, you know, Charlotte and Victor is, you're probably not going to see too much pressure up this end too early. They might just want to settle in for the long haul, as we said earlier, and just kind of like burn away at you know, this 3 gen up here. But oh, we've got a gen being worked on in the corner.
Yep.
Scratch what I said.
Indeed, and looks like Charlotte posting up kind of middle here. Survivor's gonna be caught between. They might take a tag here, and the question is, who's gonna do the tag first? It looks like switch back to Charlotte. Do they get a tag, and can they fall with Victor is the question.
That's such a long cooldown, isn't it? That going back to Charlotte. Oh my god, that felt like it was an eternity.
It really was.
Claude trying to buy some time here. Hopefully someone is pressuring that gen back in the corner where Victor was, but no killer instinct, so you would think that there's not.
Yeah, you'd think there wouldn't be anybody back here, but we are seeing a little bit of gen progress, so survivors are cracking into the back here. And honestly, I don't think the Twins has any idea where they are, and without anyone down, any pressure, what can you do? Looks like gens are yellow, so either Eruption, Colorado. I don't think we've seen anything yet. Survivor hasn't been down. We've seen, what, 1 hit this game so far?
It's yeah, we only had the hit on the was it the Renato?
Yeah,
I think. Oh,
I think that
regardless,
would have been the case.
Putting out pressure on these gens here. Charlotte has placed herself in the middle gen there, which is interesting, rather than coming towards this little 3 gen down the back here. Proxy in this area out. Hasn't checked on that gen in the corner that was being worked on the hillside yet either, mind you. That's been sitting there for a little bit of time, but regardless, still, this is looking to be a very strong 3 gen. The only real pressure that the survivors could get is if they really just pop that gen right there in the middle. But like with as we said, with a killer as strong as Charlotte that's able to hold down their ground and have good map mobility with Victor, it's gonna take a bit of time. But regardless, I think it's Claude is pumping this gen, dude. There's a lot of pistons running on that thing, so
absolutely are.
We have got some pressure being applied.
Survivors have had a couple skill check issues. There is overcharge, so we do know that, you know, corrupt and overcharge are in the game. Charlotte dropping in, that's an eruption as well, and that is the first.
That's a nice little bit of regression.
Indeed, but I think for the price of this Claudette, I think we see 1 survivor on that gen still. I think they might pop that hill gen. I think you've armed to something.
If they, well, I mean, even this gen, they've got the, is this Arena that's on this gen? Oh my gosh, considering, you know, the pressure that our killer was wanting to apply, these survivors have completely made it void. But now that we've got a Claude on the hook in the middle between a very strong 3 gen here, you know, there's some pressure on our killer. I truly believe that the killer is now not really sitting too well. These survivors just absolutely played this geniusly while applying split pressure to the hillside gen and the one behind Claude's hook. I mean, as far as they know, who's to say that they're not working on the generator right now while Claude sits on the hook, just chilling out?
That would
Killer
be
hasn't
a bold
checked
strat.
it. Well, Killer hasn't even looked at it. They could just be buying their time. Interesting to see that the killer is looking for someone over in this deep corner here. This is a bit of time being wasted.
It is.
And for all we know, that gen could be ready to pop.
It's very true, and yeah, they are sending a survivor back here, but it hasn't been touched. It's still regressing.
No,
Worth noting
that's
too,
unfortunate.
Zarina is broken, so that is forced penance on the Twins. Which, I mean, to be fair, that's pretty common on Twins. That's like their bread and butter.
Yeah, it's a very bread and butter perk to be ran on this killer.
And it looks like body blocks coming in from the Charlotte, but I don't think it actually body blocked. Yeah, you couldn't body block there, and
oh, that's so unlucky. But very well played by the killer. Very well played by the killer in that regard.
Absolutely. And it looks like the center gen, a little bit of pistons firing. So the one thing that is interesting is, yeah, the gens behind the main building are pretty close together, but that center gen is pretty far away.
It's gonna give some leeway for the survivors to have a bit of area to play with. There it is. Told ya.
Oh my word.
Well done. Well done. Oh my gosh. Considering the pressure that the killer wanted to apply, these survivors just absolutely split that pressure on that back gen there. Well done, guys. Holy moly.
Absolutely.
That is actually quite an insane play right there. Well done.
Wait, look at the exit gates. Both the exit gates are on this. This was a perfect setup for the Twins, and survivors just, they didn't care. They broke it.
They just absolutely smash these gens. Now, I'm not sure that there is any sort of slowdown towards this end game here that our killer might have perk-wise.
We can't. They can't.
But
We know Overcharge. We know Eruption. We know Force Penance. We know Corrupt. They have nothing.
there we go. So all we got to do is just rely simply on hopefully getting some injuries, some hook stages, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, this is looking like a very strong finish by these survivors. And you have to just give them respects, considering the build and considering the area that the Twins tried to hold down, considering with the build, like not taking anything away from the killer, but these survivors to be able to break this 3-gen so easily, like it was, and that's the facts. Like it was an easy break for them, and they did such a good job. So a huge shout to these survivors for getting this done, because this is not an easy feat. Now, you would think if Zarina gets hit here that she's going to keep Victor on her.
Oh, yeah.
And not give the break. She'll probably just keep him. Someone might be on the other door, and they're just going to buy some time for the door to pop and then take hits. And oh, that was a very, 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 very good play. Well done.
That was a rough hit.
Giving away hits. Victor's going to be back in a sec.
Yeah, Victor's ready to be deployed now, and you've got one slug.
There he goes.
Worth noting, Zarina did have adrenaline, so she could also have him breakable.
Who's to say no? We should expect a kick here. And then Claude will more than likely get picked back up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, this is what I've been looking for this DBDCC in particular, is this is the first tournament I'm witnessing that is after the and you're right, there's that pickup. That is after the shakeup. So buckle up for the people's a big thing here. There's no hook grabs anymore.
Aren't a thing anymore. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that these guys are gonna have to adjust to and learn to play around. Considering this big patch that's just dropped.
Yeah.
The hook grab, I think, is one of the biggest things that's going to be implemented.
Yeah, there's the deli
There's the
unbreakable, yeah.
deliverance. Well done.
Absolutely.
No.
Oh,
well
man.
done, guys. Very well played.
Completely.
Very well played to these survivors. That is absolutely an insane. I can't believe how they just absolutely split that gen pressure up on a 3-gen like that.
That was Circle of Healing. Never mind, we were both wrong. Not exponential. It was Circle.
It was Circle of Healing.
Interesting.
Nice. Done a positional area, and it's just going to simply apply pressure to these survivors very early on. But I'm super excited. We have the #1 killer in DBD right now. The #1.
Oh no.
Absolute chess player, dude. If you guys didn't know, playing Skull Merchant is like playing chess. Also, mind you, have you noticed something?
I have not noticed. Oh my goodness, there's no corrupt.
There's no corrupt. They're going to be
How did I
aggressive. They're
miss that?
getting in chases. They just want to get stuck in. This is what you want to see.
I'm into this, actually. This is going to be pretty lit. I will say that gen is yellow, which is interesting. Also, that drone back there may be playing a little bit of patrol, see if anybody crosses the choke point. But
I feel as long as they're, playing this very smiley but still aggressive without getting overexcited, I think the pressure is going to be not so much there. But they'll definitely have enough pressure to be able to get some quick downs. I believe it, dude. Like Chess Merchant, it's just like no other. It's like no other, and I'm so excited to finally see this killer in a setting where we can test our absolute wits and skills in the highest form of flattery. Oh wait, hold on a second. We've got a 4-gen here we're holding down. Let's go.
all right, so I'm surprised
Who
they
needs
didn't commit
corrupt?
earlier. That's what surprised me, is they had that chase. They didn't commit to it, which was surprising to me.
Yeah, you don't really worry back on a shack, surely, do ya?
Maybe they do.
Let's get it done. The mind games. Coming around the backside here.
So the one thing that's really surprised me is I'm still someone, I'm just not used to these new portraits. I look at the portraits, I'm like, wait, who's that? Oh, right.
Yeah. I like them. I just wish like the legendary skins were related to portraits and stuff like that, for Sybil,
yeah.
Sybil, and Lisa and everyone like that. Oh, greeted the pallet. They get done. Yeah, they get to this pretty safely. You'll think our Skull Merchant would leave it though. Yeah.
So, not to talk too much about it, but Did you notice that they never gotten chase with the ace?
I didn't pay attention to that. No.
Yeah.
No.
That was the weird
Yeah.
thing. Like, chase didn't start on them, and I have no idea why.
Considering they were right there, maybe the by the time was that at Shack?
Yeah, well, was that Shack, and they went into what would that be? That'd be 7 o'clock. But yeah, they were in a tile, and they were looking at it pretty tightly, but they never started a chase, which is super weird. However,
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no! Getting spun. Oh no! Come on, you got this. There we go.
I say Clouded doing some
Number one
spin
chess
work.
player's got a hit.
Indeed, and worth noting that is Sloppy Butcher. We saw a lot of blood spraying out from that Clouded's body from that hit, so that is a Sloppy
Got some
Butcher.
progression. Got some progression on this middle gen 2 here, by the way. Mind you, you'd think Alice Scott mentioned, you know, she tried to be very aggressive, but I think maybe we should start settling back into holding down this little area here and trying to get some hits. That is a sprint burst, I believe.
I think it was a lie. They hit the window and they
That was a
were
lie.
speedy.
That was a vault. That's my bad.
No, they did
My
speed
vision
away.
is altered.
You are just fine. And yeah,
We
Ace,
have not. Very smart drop. Very smart drop.
once again, it's not showing them getting in chase with them, and that is the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, for chase to be initialized, sometimes it's a bit weird for it to actually kick in, especially if it's very short and there's quite like a very safe pallet nearby. For some reason, registries with chases aren't really noticeable sometimes with DVD. Like you could be right on top of someone, not look at them, and a chase will initialize. So I think that's just in particular something going on with DVD. Whereas, you know, Akila's
Fair.
directly in chase, Ace is running, he's not walking, he's engaging the chase, but I think that's just, you know, not being recognized as a full-blown chase yet. But regardless, we've gotten used to something that we've seen in a lot of our lobbies and games. We've got our Skull Merchant setting down. We've got a lot of gen kicking, but this is something. This is going to be a grind. You know,
Just a bit.
She did try to be very, very aggressive at the start, but now she's settling into her nature and to her habits, and is embracing what she is. The Skull Merchant's brain is much larger than all of ours put together. So we did hear a totem being broken.
And we can call it out too because we have seen this. It is both. It is overcharge. And
Interesting.
Since the gens also are maintaining their yellow status after a minute, so that is not Call of Brian. That has to be Eruption. That's the only other yellow gen. Well, besides Trail of Torment, but obviously we would also
I was
see
hoping
them.
for some trail. You know, that would have been nice.
I like the new trail upgrade. That's been really cool.
I've been running Trail of Torment for a while on my Bubba, and it's been absolutely hilarious jumping and scaring people with Trail of Torment Bubba.
That's beautiful.
Our Skull Merchant, she's actually done something very smart here. She's kind of holding down her space, but she's pushed onto the outside parts of the, you know, the outer edge of the other side of the map here to burn through their resources. Depending on where the doors have spawned, we've got one spawned over there I can see vaguely. But regardless, she's very limiting the end game here in case survivors do get away. They haven't got many resources that they can rely on,
True.
especially if they try to drag her to, you know, further sides of the map away from where the exits are. So she's holding down her space, but she's also using very valuable resources that could be used in the later game. So this is a very smart, but yet very patient play, considering how aggressive we did think she was going to be. All I'm going to say is, if you guys are watching, settle in, kick your feet up, grab yourself a coffee. We might be in for a bit of a haul here. But we do have our ace here. We have our ace. Let's see if a chase will begin.
That's what I'm curious.
There it is.
Yeah, because again, they're running,
Huh?
they're in front, and chase isn't triggering. And I don't want to call out the rest of this build, but there's a reason I keep harping on that. They're exposed now. Now they got
That's
to
an
body blocks.
expose. Yeah, that was a very good play.
They get
Regardless.
it?
Oh my gosh, got around. What happened to Nia? She was right there.
The
Oh,
Skull Merchant has
no.
haste from two survivors having the armbands on.
Yeah, that's correct.
But-
she just dipped around.
Now they're under the pallet. They're going for the
Good
pick.
pick there.
There's the.
Oh no, sprint burst.
Ace has sprint burst. I think that might have been a background player.
That could have been a background player.
I
That's
think-
a good call.
Unless there's two sprint bursts, in which I sincerely hope for our survivors' sake that is not two sprint bursts. We can always check
We've
the
got
odds.
our drones down. We've got good progression on this. You know what? These survivors are absolutely doing this. They're doing a great job here. They've gotten rid of drones. We've got some progress done. We've got some pistons pumping on these gens, which is interesting to see.
More pistons back here too.
There we go.
Good call.
They're pressuring. They're pressuring. Gold Merchant got a little bit excited with the down, which we all, I think, did. But regardless now, that's another exposed person right here.
And I like what they're doing. They have Nia come in for the body blocks when they're necessary.
Very smart. Very, very smart. Playing it safe, dropping pallet, I think.
Yeah, dropping pallet.
There it is.
Yep.
Nia should come around the backside here, you would assume.
Yeah, but they will take it down over this, and that is not what you want to give this Skull Merchant.
Oh no, especially within range of the gens as well. Like getting a hook right in the center of these gens is kind of giving easy access for the Skull Merchant to, you know, not only monitor what's going on, but apply pressure to the other survivors too.
Absolutely. It looks like they're taking him for a more central hook here, potentially.
I just don't know what's going on with the ace. Like she was right on the ace and not a chase.
Chase starts for other survivors, which is really interesting. Yeah, but ace specifically is not starting, and I do not know why that is.
Yeah. Oh, this gen.
It's
noisy.
Progress.
It's very noisy. You'll see 3 or 4 pistons on pumping on you.
Oh, they need to reposition that. Look, it's not covering the.
It's right
far
on the
side.
edge. Yeah, they got to call that back.
Looks like both survivors coming in from the middle here, coming back towards this gen. We
All
know
she has to do
3
is
perks.
hold this
The
gen
4th
and
perk
hold
hasn't
this
been
hook.
revealed.
Yeah, not quite yet. But all she has to do is hold down this gen and hold down this person on the hook right here. But the problem is, you're also stressing out about giving. Oh, did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I love it.
Oh my god, these survivors are doing so good.
They really are.
They're doing so good considering what this, Skull Merchant has here. They're doing so good. They're buying so much time. They're getting the pressure on these gens. Oh my gosh.
At this
That was
point,
good to call back that drone and stick it more above the gen there, which is very smart.
and they do get the unhook here. Claudette gonna have to make their way back. Where Claudette's staying actually on this side of the map. Very ballsy maneuver. I think they're trying to take as much pressure away so they can get a gen done, but
I mean, I would not be surprised if this gen or the one on the other corner are ready to almost roll. Considering how much pressure and how quickly these guys have actually done these. Oh, did they? No, that's well played by the Ada to just body block. Oh, that was so smart. She broke her tracker with vaulting the pallet, therefore losing some haste. But still, Skull Merchant gets it down on the Claude. You would assume that this might be a second stage here. Assuming they don't have decisive. Oh,
no decisive.
Close save.
They were
That was very
trying.
close.
They're disabling the drone.
That's actually very smart by the
So
Skull
ballsy.
Merchant. Like, the Skull Merchant to recognize that, to try and take them off to give exposed, is a very, very smart play here. Now, you've got, if I'm not wrong, we've got an exposed Ada? Or an
Yeah, the
exposed
bottom survivor
Nia?
Nia is exposed currently.
Currently, okay.
Yep.
And we do have a bit of haste going on with 2 claw traps being on 2 survivors right now. So Skull Merchant able to check on our gens pretty quickly while applying pressure to multiple gens at the same time. Now, all she has to do is find this Claude, and it's pretty much a GG, you would assume, right?
I would assume so. It'd be really hard for this survivor team to finish. This gen has a lot of progress, though.
That is pumping. But then again, you've still got a very strong 3-gen being held along the backside here. I mean, that gen over the other side is a little distant. But I mean, if she lets this back gen pop here, she's going to be in a lot of trouble.
I would tend to agree, and they are really splitting these gens.
Chess Merchant is currently in a bit of a stalemate here. You love to see it.
A little bit. They did reset the Claudette fully. Claudette has a tracker now, so they disabled the trap over here. They're just going back and reapplying these overcharge kicks. Man, skill checks never felt so bad. Oh, another... Yeah, there's some cheeky spins from these survivors.
Yeah, they're doing very well. You've obviously got some very talented players in this pool. These guys are doing outstanding.
Also worth noting,
And not only did just...
Ace has a lot of
Sorry,
progress
continue.
on... Yeah, but I say... Okay, they got rid of their claw trap there, but they've really been pushing this generator here for all it's worth.
This Ace is exposed, isn't he?
No, not quite. He was almost. That was what the
quite?
Skull Merchant came back to. Is like, this Ace is almost exposed. What is he doing back here?
I was gonna say, if he gets caught out the back there with exposed while trying to get that generator done, they're gonna be in a world of trouble. But very well played by the ace to oh, doesn't worry about hitting anyone. Very smart, but she has got the Claudette here, so very well played. Doesn't commit, doesn't want to get the kill. Very smart to get back here. Otherwise, two of these gens could just fly by in the blink of an eye. Very well done.
So right there was kind of what I was waiting for. Ace finally was able to get in chase, and for those who are watching and heard, there was a little ding of a stack being gained when they lost chase with Ace.
She found the Claude.
They did
Good
find,
body blocks by there.
right.
She's gonna commit.
She is.
Does she get it?
There's the hit.
Get the Ada out of the way. Nice.
Nia is exposed though. She's on that back gen.
She
And
might
Ace
commit to
almost
this
has
and
this
get it done. Oh my god, that Jenny. Oh my god, she's not gonna kick it. She's not gonna kick it. There you go.
Going for the kick. Now Nia exposed back here, running away. But I think the survivors might actually get a gen done here.
A single down can change this game though.
True.
A single down will change this game. And I
Nia's in
think she's
trouble.
gonna get it here with the haste.
There's Ace coming in. Absolute
Big body
legend.
blocks. But she gets no.
The
Oh,
sprint
he's
burst!
sprint burted in front of her.
Oh my
No.
goodness. This Ace is juicing right now. Can they
Is that
keep
not a
this?
chase?
You're right. They didn't get in chase that entire time. There is something wrong. Wait, why was it? Oh, I see what's happening. This is a bug. So what's happening? They're only able to get in chase with Ace if another survivor is nearby. When it's just the killer and Ace, they for some reason can't instigate the chase. That's a
so
really weird bug.
unfortunate. That's so unfortunate.
It really is, but they do have a stack right now, and they are 5% faster from it. Ace is now exposed. They are so close to popping these gens.
I can't believe these survivors have handled this the way they have. This is absolutely wild. And the Skull Merchant isn't playing terrible. They're doing what they need to do. Like they're doing their job. But these survivors have just absolutely split this pressure up on these gens, and it was going to be a slow burn. We all knew it, but oh no.
Yeah, now
Oh,
it's
no.
a reverse situation. Now Nia's ready to take body blocks for the Ace, but I think
But she should
Ace
get
can-
around.
There's
No,
way.
she doesn't.
There's no way. Oh my
Oh, the
goodness.
frustration would take over for me. I would not be able to handle it. My desk would be turned over right now.
So true, and they're back on this generator. Claudette ready to come in and take... The coordination that these survivors are showing is top notch.
They are absolutely nailing this body blocks, dude. To absolutely deny the hook stages, they're putting someone that's on death hook in front of another survivor to buy. Oh, and they
There
got the
it
gen
is!
done. Oh no.
The back gen is finished, and they do not have a third hook stage yet. They have to hook at least one other survivor to tie. But now you've got 3 injured survivors. Ace is exposed and running into the back here. This could be what the Skull
This could be
Merchant
a down.
needs. And there's the player defense stack coming in. There's the down. There's the eruption. And here comes first hook for Ace. This is the tie condition. Can survivors finish the last generator in the time given?
That's all they need to do. And I'm genuinely speechless at how well these guys coordinate themselves to body block for each other. Oh my gosh, that is actually insane. They threw a Claudette who was death hook
Yeah.
in front of an exposed survivor to protect them. Like, I mean, at that point, it's a win or lose condition, right? You have to do it. But like these guys have absolutely nailed this. I'm so impressed by these, like the way they've coordinated themselves.
There's the deli.
They've
That's what I
also
was
got-
waiting for. That was the survivor that unhooked
Yeah,
earlier. And
this
so
is
now
so well played.
pressure is technically reset, but as we see, both of
It's
these
still
gens
a
are
very
kind of regressed.
strong. Yeah.
And I imagine now we might see them potentially commit to a chase here. Or, you know what? I'm just not going to say they're going to commit. They have more commitment issues than all my exes combined.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a Skull Merchant can get someone actually, you know, exposed or down here and win the game. But again, you risk losing pressure by getting too carried away by trying to get some downs. So all these survivors are going to do, they're going to take their hits and they're going to push to the other side of the map to try and hold down the pressure away from where these gens are. But if the Skull Merchant was like really wanting to get some pressure here, she's used a lot of resources over this side of the map. So do you think, is it worth me just considering getting one hook stage on one person, or what do I do? But I mean, we know most of the survivors, if not all the survivors, are over here now trying to reset.
Yeah, they were, and the Skull Merchant interrupted it. Now they're all injured.
Yeah, they have to go to Shaq, and Shaq pallet's gone too. So I mean, not even Shaq is safe enough for them to sit at. So I mean,
it's a good point.
These guys have done. Oh no! That's a very good down. A very good down. And I mean, considering that they had to make a choice here, the Skull Merchant chose to be aggressive, and it's going to pay dividends if nothing happens here.
Absolutely. And Skull Merchant's like, yeah, that's right.
There it is.
A little bit of friendly bags. As, I think survivors know what's up here, and that is going to be the 4th hook stage for this killer. And unless I'm wrong, I think that should be enough since there was no kills last game. It's going to come down to hook stages, which I think is going to be enough here.
And I mean, depending if these guys can also get this last gen done, but I think they're well aware of the situation now.
Yeah,
so.
they tried to Kobe. I think they have, yeah, they've given up.
Yeah, conceded.
Honestly, I don't blame them. Like, Skull Merchant feels like a PvE killer some days, okay?
As soon as I loaded and would have seen the Skull Merchant, I would have just conceded from the start. So, I mean, well done to these guys for sticking it out. But, like, honestly, these survivors, I've got no words but praise for how they handle this situation and their coordination and teamwork against something that is as strong as what this, you know, character is and what they're able to do. Obviously, the kill played absolutely fantastic, played to their strengths.
Yep.
The survivors, the coordination, the ability to
it was so good.
Put themselves in very good positions and to help each other out to prolong the, you know, the inevitable, you would say. I was expecting a wash. Like, I was expecting this killer to come in and get this game done very quickly, considering no corrupt at the start. Obviously, the bug with the obsession was a little unfortunate, but regardless or not, these survivors just, I'm absolutely mind blown at how this game transpired and what both sides were able to do. So
I agree.
A big grab. Yeah, a big grab. It's just to see like coordination like that. It was just so beautiful to look at. Like, it was really well done.
Absolutely. That was, and they even had the boon back here to try and help for the resets, but yeah, and the thing was, it was kind of a 4-gen. That middle gen was closer to the other side that it was effectively a 4-gen, which made it a whole lot harder. Yeah. And they broke the back, like, if it wasn't as strong of a 4-gen as it was, I think they would have got all 5 gens done.
Yeah.
And
yes,
there's the last one.
Well done. Love to see a bit of greed, don't we?
Just a little bit. Again, well played to both sides of these, both sides of this match, but that will be enough for Circus to take the W here in the North Pacific Asian Dead by Daylight Community Cup Finals, and well played to OBCD.
It was a very, you know what, considering, as we said earlier, considering how the first game went, this I was expecting a very different result in this second game.
Kind of, yeah.
But I'm just happy I got to see some of, you know, the world's best killers or DBD's best implemented designs killers in our finals. Like, I love it. I love watching the Skull Merchant play. Personally, I'm thrilled, you know. I mean, who wants to watch a Blight, Bubba, or anyone else play? I want to settle in for the long haul. So,
yeah, they did a background
more time. They did a background. There you go. Well done.
I love it.
Well done, guys. Seriously.
And
like both teams.
This is where I want to see the power, or the plot twist, because we got the power struggle flip flop unbreakable gamer over here.